first heat, Farloe Blitz, and this was him living up to his name. This was Farloe Blitz at his very best. He blitzed his rivals. It was over from the opening yards. This fellow just shot clear. It was his best performance by a long shot in this year's derby, 29.44. He wasn't coming back to them too quickly tonight. He's clearly a dog that's in good heart.
Yeah, I thought this was by far his best performance. In fairness, Damien Lonergan, a colleague of mine, would probably know this dog as well as anybody. And after last week, I went straight to Damien and asked him what he thought. And he said to me he thought it was better than a win for the dog. The way he knuckled down and kept going, he was really impressed with him last week. When Manny could have said, oh look, he's not staying or whatever, to do that sort of running from trap 6 where he's really out and completely out of his depth in draws, and then to get his more favourable trap draw tonight, he put them to the sword in the early strides. I'd say it's probably his fastest sectional maybe so far in this year's derby, but that was breathtaking. He didn't come back at all to them tonight, and I think he's getting better and better, and for me I think he's the one to beat.
And off the final bend, and it's one, Farloe Blitz going to win this one for Owen McKenna. Second is number 3, Blue Cafu, and 5, Dolcino Flower could be third. The time is 29.44.
It'd be lovely to say he don't stay, but sure, he can't have everything. He's great early, the dog, you know what I mean? We're betwixt and between whether we go for this after Wimbledon. And didn't work out there, unfortunately. Every competition he ran in, he got beaten in the final. When he was beaten through it, he got beat last week, so maybe that was the one out of the way. But we were delighted in the semi-final, and the draw is going to be a big part.
Yeah, very much so.
Let's take the inside again, you know what I mean?
We spoke to you during your time in England, and you said he's a dog that comes out of his races great. I hope it's the same again this time.
He does. Like, the week is a bonus, you know what I mean? He went through the 3 quick runs over there fine, and the long run to the pickup, you'd say, would kill his early pace, but it didn't. And like he's coming out of the race is great. Like tomorrow morning, you wouldn't know he'd had a race, you know. So touch wood, as long as he stays sound, and he's a dog that's keeps himself. You know what I mean? He's never had too many problems with him, so it's nice to be there.
Blue Cafu ran well in second spot. He's yet to win a round of the derby, but he keeps qualifying, and I'm sure Connections are happy enough with that. And Shutthe Backdoor, who ran an absolutely eye-catching race to even qualify. This fellow was bad last going to the corner, forced his way through it and managed to get into third, in doing so denying Rural Hawaii a place in the next round. But Blue Cafu and Shutthe Backdoor, congratulations to Connections. They'll be happy with their work thus far. Yeah,
and Shutthe Backdoor, I sort of thought all his eggs would be thrown into the one basket in the early stages coming into this competition. On his runs in Kilkenny, I thought he needed to lead. He's let me down in the earlier rounds when I fancied him to win. He didn't win, but in fairness, tonight you have to say he really dug deep. He needed to. He did everything that was required. Blue Cafu, like you said, hasn't won a round thus far, but you can't knock him. He's still in the last 12. There's only 2 runs left, provided to get through next week. But he's still doing all the runs. He's not doing the flashiest times, but his name is in the hat, and he'll start level with Farloe Blitz next week again.
Here we lost Samaya and Rural Hawaii, who added so much to the early rounds of the derby, and Dolcino Flower, who himself ran a couple of good races in the early rounds, but I'm afraid their derby has come to an end.
Yeah, unfortunately so. Samaya was really sort of grabbing the atmosphere and taking a bit of credit in recent weeks, and a lot of people were jumping on the bandwagon with her, but unfortunately her dream is gone.
Absolutely. Move on to Heat 2 and Ballymacmat, the derby favourite. But he did it rightly. He was out in front from the start, but 29.64, Highview Apollo was coming at him in the latter stages. It wasn't, as you say, his most flashy run of the competition, but he's still there, and again we know with hindsight that he's in trap 1 again in the semi-finals.
Yeah, Frankie K, you can tell by his expression that it's sort of getting to him now, the fact that people are saying it to him that, look, it is what it is, it's the luck of the draw, as we say. Highview Apollo has really ran well in this year's competition. It was impressive the first round. He completely missed the break in the second round from a horrible draw in trap 5, and he's got a much more favourable draw in the last few weeks. He's making the most out of it. I don't think he's got a great draw in the semis, but you'd have to say he was every bit as impressive as Matt. He really wore him down, and I'm sure Connections would have been loving to get another bite at him from a similar draw again next week. I don't think that's the case though. Save the Dawn ran pretty well, but look, Ballymacmat, he's drawing 1 again. He's trapping really well. We know he stays. We know he stays an awful lot better than he did tonight. You had a theory last week that maybe they're just not pushing the foot to the metal just of yet. Maybe that is the case. They will now in the semi-finals of the derby, and if there is more to come from him, the way he's trapping, the draws he's getting, he's going to be a tough dog to beat still.
It's down to 2.5 lengths off the final bend. Ballymacmat in front, but 2 is coming hard at him, but Ballymacmat remains unbeaten in the derby.
Absolutely. Look, we couldn't really ask for too much more of this dog. Look, he's ran here 8 times, he's undefeated here. he's flying out of the boxes, which he wasn't doing early on, but he seems to be doing everything right. But we're just a little bit concerned that the clock, but look, we take no notice of that. Look, with the things people probably don't realise, he's a good bit of running done. He's for a young dog. He started in Tralee and he went in, he had a little stake in Tralee after the unraced, and then he was in the Laurels, and we went for England and the 600 and the international. He's a good bit of running done. So look, we're happy, we're delighted with him. He's qualifying, he's doing everything right, so we'd be hoping for a good draw the next night, but look, we'll take what comes to us now.
After the favourites winning the first and second heats, you needed a bit of a reprieve, and Gaytime Hawk, I dare say he wasn't overly popular. He was badly housed in Trap 5, but this fellow has really come into form. He went off the boil during his stint in Wimbledon. It took him a while to get going again, but that's 3 wins on the bounce now, and 29.34 tonight, a career best display. He's timing his run at the right time, it seems.
Yeah, career best display from Trap 5 as well. He's won twice now in this competition from Trap 5. It doesn't seem to bother him. He's running really, really well. It's just, he made a lie around me tonight. I couldn't see him. I thought Tyler Tommy had a brilliant draw in one. I did not see Gaytime Hawk breaking the way he broke, and as well as that, I thought himself and Paradise Maverick were due to come together, but Paradise Maverick could never even get to terms with Gaytime Hawk in the early stress. He just came out to the bars. If he continues to start like that, we know he stays stoutly. He won't be coming back to any ground in this competition. And off that run, you'd have to say he's going to be the one to beat. He's the fastest in the competition to date as well. It was a career best effort. I think that's the best run done in the Derby thus far as well. He's progressing nicely, and he's in shrewd hands as well. Graham is keeping him under the radar. Wasn't one of Graham's most popular or more fancied runners come into the competition, but he definitely is now. Yeah,
he's a very talented dog. He's perhaps not a fashionable dog. You'd imagine he'd probably still be a 3 or 4 to 1 chance next week.
I think it's inconsistency. I might be doing the dog an injustice there, but in my head, I find him a little bit frustrating at the starting traps. Not inconsistent afterwards. He always runs his race there, but I just think he can be a little bit hit and miss at the boxes, and that's why you're inclined to take him on occasions.
A 1 and 3 strikeout at the same time.
Gaytime Hawk out front, turning for home with a lead of a couple of lengths from 1. Tyre Tommy in second, then comes 3. Farloe Rumble in third.
We're just delighted to go 3. He made a great start there tonight. Brilliant time. Obviously next week's another race, so fingers crossed if he comes out like that and we can keep qualifying. That's what it's all about at the moment.
He was flying just before England. Things didn't happen right for him in England. He's been off the boil a bit, but the last 2 or 3 weeks this fellow's really come back to himself. Yeah,
the last couple of weeks, he's won now 3 weeks. He's ran really well. I'm delighted that he's coming back, hopefully coming back to form at the right time.
I think he's come back to form. 29.34 tonight, sensational run.
Brilliant run, really, really pleased with him. As I say, just fingers crossed he gets a half decent draw next week and can start like that again. We can maybe start dreaming.
The 4th quarter final, and here we saw Peregrine Falcon once again. He's a price every night. He was 7 to 2 here on track. He was a similar price all week, and in fairness to the dog, he ran very hard. He had Cable Bay on his backside down the far side. I think everyone was going, he's not going to be able to hold this dog, but he did, and he did 29.50 on the bunny once again. And again, if he did 29.50 in the Derby final, he wouldn't be too far away. Yeah,
I think we have to take a little bit of credit here, because I think that's his 14th race, his 7th win, 7 wins on the spin. His first 7 races, he didn't win, and we said that once some of these dogs, when they get confident, it just seems to carry on, build momentum, and you just see a different side of it. Peregrine Falcon epitomises that. He ran his first 7 races, no luck, wins 1, and now he's in the Derby semi-finals, and he's won 7 on the spin. He's one of only 2 unbeaten dogs in the Derby thus far. Cable Bay ran a cracker again. He'll run his race every week. He's just one of those dogs you love to be on each way. He'll always run well. It doesn't matter what position he is off the first bend or the second bend. He'll come home with a rattle. He was in a good position tonight. I sort of expected him to pick up Peregrine Falcon, like you said, but I think that's not doing Cale Wayne injustice. I think that's just complimenting Peregrine Falcon. I just don't think he was able to close. JT Jet running out Lemon Miley, and at the very end, you have to feel sorry for Lemon Miley, in fairness. And not a great draw, an ultra consistent performer who ran his race again tonight and just got pipped on the line by JT Jet. But for me, definitely one of the most impressive dogs tonight was Peregrine Falcon.
Indeed, yeah, it's one of those heats where you can look at over and over again and go, wow, why weren't we on that sort of dog? He shows good early speed, he shows pace down the back, and he's digging deep up the home straight. And as we've said, 29.50, there's nothing wrong with the run. Again, 3 fast greyhounds going out here. Secreto just didn't quite happen for him in the Derby. He got his run last week, but just the clear passage wasn't there. So tonight he actually missed the kick, and once Cable Bay was in front of him, we were never going to pick him up. He was 3rd down the back straight, of course, Cable Bay. Siderian Vega had such a terrible draw out in Trap 5. he was going to need a flying start and perhaps a little bit of luck to get across. And as you say, Lemon might run out in the final strides. But 3 fast greyhounds going through.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's just just wanted to qualify tonight. Just over the moon. Brilliant.
29.50 last week, 29.50 tonight. Had to work hard tonight, but he's shown great guts and determination.
Yeah, well, he had to come out tonight, or if he didn't come out, I think he was going to be out. So he did brilliant, and hopefully we'll go another one.
You're in the semi-finals of the Derby. How are you feeling?
Oh sure, it's dream stuff really. Yes, it's just dream stuff.
I heard during the week, not too many offers for him. You'd imagine he'd been very popular. You'd have thought someone would have come in for him.
Yeah, well, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, we thought we would get a couple of offers, but that early on, maybe round 1, round 2. But I'm nearly happy we didn't, because you hold on to him, and he won't be sold any before the next one.
The first heat here, we have Gaytime Hawk in trap 1, Farloe Rumble is in 2, but then you're looking outside them, Cable Bay in 5, and as you've said, JT Jet out in trap 6, and of course we missed there Tire Tommy in trap 4. So it's an interesting heat. You can sort of make claims for many of the runners. It could be a difficult enough one to price up. Like Gaytime Hawk looks well drawn in 1, but he seems to be doing a lot of good running from the middle and from wide, as you say.
Yeah, exactly. You would imagine Gaytime Hawk will still be. It could be a race that's 5-2 the field. It could be. You'd have to look at it in more depth to make a price. But you'd imagine Gaytime Hawk will be prominent in the betting. He looks the best drawn dog, along with JT Jet, of course. Farloe Rumble, for me, if he's ever going to do a run, he could be in the semi-finals. He's close enough to the fence there now. Gaytime Hawk in trap 1 can be inconsistent at the boxes. If he does miss it and Farloe Rumble gets one of those breaks that we know he can, he could be a major player in this. Blue Cafu in 3, like we said, he's not winning, but he's progressing. He'll run his race again. Tire Tommy drawn in 4. Will he have the early to get across will be my concern. Cable Bay in 5 will probably tuck in behind on the run to the bend. I don't think he'll lead, but he will need to mind himself at the first corner. There could be a bit of trouble in that race. The 5 dogs, 5 inside seeds, all 6 of them actually seem to have the same sort of early pace. JT Jet's ideally drawn in 6 and Gaytime Hawk's ideally drawn in 1. I think those two for me would be I'd make a strong case for a slightly edge towards Gaytime Hawk.
Yeah, sort of race if you ran it sort of 6 times, maybe Gaytime Hawk might win a couple of them.
Yeah,
well, and that's sort of the way to look at it. You could get any result on the night, but if you ran 6 times, maybe Gaytime Hawk might win 2.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that slightly edging towards him, just pure down to draw.
Second heat is a red hot heat, and here we have Ballymac Matt once again drawing the red jacket. You saw, as you say, Frankie Kay drawing him in trap 1. He gave it a quick side because he's getting so much stick for putting him in trap 1 every night. But again, he's going to be one of the favourites. But I dare say, following tonight's performance, Farloe Blitz might well start favourite, despite the fact that Ballymac Matt will be probably favourite to win the Derby. Farloe Blitz will perhaps start favourite to win this heat from trap 2. Of the rest of them there, you see Save the Dawn in trap 3. He's not going to bother them in the early yards because he'll stay straight, if not edge slightly right. You have Highview Apollo in 4, who's going to struggle from that draw, I'd say. Same could be said for Shutthe Backdoor, perhaps. And Peregrine Falcon, he hasn't been rewarded for his 7 on the row. He's out in trap 6. He's going to need to be at his very sharpest.
Yeah, if the outrights were up to me, I wouldn't be having Matt outright favourite over Blitz personally. I think Blitz is every bit as good, and even after the first round I spoke to my father and I asked him, well, what did you make of the first round? Who do you think? And he said to me that the dog he'd like to take out was Farloe Blitz. He said, I'd rather have a dog that might be lacking a half length coming home than a dog lacking a half length going to the bend, because at least she'll be in front. And that's paved the way. Farloe Blitz is the one for me that they all have to beat. I think he's the one to beat in this heat as well. I think he'll lead Ballymac Matt in 1. I think Matt will have to stay a bit better than he has been doing in recent weeks to catch him. If Farloe Blitz breaks the way he did against tonight and does his run tonight, he wins that heat for me. Like you said, Save the Dawn will go up straight as a die. 4 Highview Apollo, he's back in a tricky enough draw. He's running really well in the competition. You can't knock him out. Shutthe Backdoor, show tonight he can come from behind. He will have to come from behind to win that race, in my opinion. He might have to come from behind just to qualify. And Peregrine Falcon, well, I'm definitely not ruling him out. I ruled him out tonight. I know he's only drawn in 3 tonight, but I couldn't see him making his way across with 4 and 5. You'd be foolish. The dog is just in that kind of form at the moment. He's finding a way to get the job done, and you'd be foolish to think that he won't be able to do it, even despite being drawn in 6.
Absolutely. 8 sets of connections, because Farloe Rumble and Cable Bay and Farloe Blitz and Shutthe Backdoor are the same. Of course, 2 guards, the 2 Farloes and Cable Bay and Shutthe Backdoor, but they're all, or not, should I say, 10 sets of connections. They're all dreaming of Derby glory at this stage. 10th week ahead of them. Yeah,
10th week ahead of them, but an enjoyable one at the same time. It's where everyone set out to be. It's where everyone wanted to be at this stage. Look, they all start level. I know I keep repeating it, but that's the case. They'll all start level. They'll all be wishing the next 6 or 7 days away and just want to be back here get the gallops, get the work under their belts, come off injury free. They'll all want to go home and see the dogs in the morning, jump off their bench and go out to the paddock shaking themselves. That's the wish that everyone will have right now. That'll be the concern that everyone will have right now. As long as that happens, get the beasts of work into them, and as long as every dog is 100% here next week, I'm sure those 2 races and even the plate semi-finals, I promise it to be a brilliant night's racing.
Indeed, yeah, we have less than a minute and a half's racing left in the Boylesports Derby for 2015, and I tell you something, it's going to be very hard to pick the last 6. Next week, 12 will become 6. The field will be halved for the very last time in this year's Derby. Join us at Shelbourne Park for what should be one of the great occasions of the year.